Hello guys, Chante here and welcome to Arc the Lad R. Today in this video, I'm here to present you guys with the latest tier list as that of May 2021. And now, let's get this started. Let's start our discussion with Elk. I will be placing him in SS tier. He is definitely the best attacker that you can get in Arc the Lad R right now, and thus is the most recommended unit for the beginners. Elk has excellent stats and his skills have high attack power as well. As the second awakening is available for him, he can grow a lot more compared to other characters out there. His active skills can deal good AoE damage at great range, which improves even further when you awaken him. His active skills can be very useful for clearing PvE contents real fast. That said, he is not that great for nuking single target enemy, but he surely can weaken the enemies, making even the boss battles easier. In Arc the Lad R Global, it is very recommended to raise Elk with the utmost priority, as he is a great unit that can give excellent performance in both PvE and arena contents. Now, the next character is Tosh. I will be placing him in S tier. He is one of the best single target nuker in the game. He can deal up to 450% of the attack power on a single enemy, which is very impressive. With his high attack power and damage multiplier, he can even take down hard bosses with a single blow and kills opponents in arena effectively. His auto skills allow him to improve his attack power and block rate by 30%, which further improves his damage output and sustenance in the battlefield. But he lacks AoE damage like Elk and thus is not useful for repetitive grinds. The next character is Shante, and I will be placing her in S tier. She is originally a healer unit that can heal nearby enemies and can also lifesteal as well with her active skill. Among all the healers, she has the highest attack power and can clear contents pretty fast with her AoE skill. With very high attack build, she can provide good heal and great damage, which is very useful for both PvE and arena contents. To her disadvantage, for her to be effective, she needs to stick very close to her allies. The next character is Raica, and I will be placing her in S tier. She is also one of the best attacker out there, with very high growth capacity as second awakening is available to her. She can deal good AoE damage with very low mana cost. With ability of sealing the movement of an enemy, she can provide you tactical advantage in the arena battle. Sadly, her damage output is not that impressive. After second awakening, she can improve her own crit rate by up to 15%, which can allow her to deal frequent critical damage. The next character is Poco. I will be placing him in S tier. He is one of the best buffer out there who can greatly boost the attack power and crit rate of the allies. As he can attack from far distance, he can effectively maintain the auto skill buff to allies, and thus he is very easy to use as a support, as he can safely support the allies from behind. The next character is Nawo, and I will be placing her in S tier. She is one of the best debuffer in the game. She can greatly reduce the attack power and physical defense of opponents over a wide range. This can be a great help for both PvE and arena contents for both improved damage and sustenance. She can also seal the movement of an enemy, but due to her narrow range skill, she is vulnerable to being hit. Her sustenance is a big problem for her, thus she heavily relies upon the healer. The next character is Homura. I will be placing her in S tier. She is one of the best tank in the game for now. She grants massive physical and magical defense to allies over very wide range. Thus she can greatly improve the sustenance of your team very easily in any content in the game. She is known to make her enemies immobile with her active skill. She is very effective in controlling and stalling enemies with high attack power. The next character is Suiren. I will be placing her in A tier. She is a very commonly used character by players, as she can greatly increase the attack power of allies around her. Her skill attacks can't be countered by enemies. Thanks to her ability of lifesteal and increasing her own overall defense, she has good self-sustenance, which is very good for her as a buffer. But for her to be effective, she needs to be in very close range with her allies. Next is Mizuha. I will be placing her in A tier. She is a very good healer character that can provide very good auto healing to allies over a great wide range. Thanks to her cure skill, she can provide even more healing to the team. Additionally, She can even improve the attack power of the allies. She can deal area attack over wide range, but her damage output is quite low. She can even remove the deadly poison status from an ally. Definitely she has great potential in both PvE and arena contents. Next is Lieza. I will be placing her in A tier. She is good healer character with very wide range of healing effect, but due to her very low attack stats, her healing ability is pretty weak overall. Thus she heavily relies on equipment with very high attack power. She is a very interesting and unique character that can convert small enemies into allies, but overall her low attack stat is a great disadvantage to her. Next unit is Halt, and I will be placing him in A tier. He is one of the best single target nuker in the game, with the ability to deal up to 400% of attack power as damage to a single enemy. Furthermore, he can even ignore the defense of the enemy to deal even greater pure damage. Thus he is great for boss fights. He boasts to have greater durability in battle as he can reduce the incoming damage within 40% of his maximum HP, thus allowing him to take multiple hits even from powerful enemies. He can even prevent himself from dying for once upon taking lethal strike. Next unit is gonna be Chongara. I will be placing him in A tier. He is a very unique buffer character that can improve the critical rate of allies within range by up to 40%. This high critical rate boost can allow your team to deal heavy damage to opponents in both PvE and arena contents. But the range of the buff effect is quite narrow. He can also deal good damage on wide range. Next unit is gonna be Verdran, and I will be placing him in B tier. He is a good buffer character that can effectively boost the attack power of allies over relatively wide range. Mercenary Corps allies can get additional buff of 50% critical rate boost. As his active skill makes the enemy unable to counter-attack, he can stand around with plenty of HP. Next unit is gonna be Shante, and I'll be placing her in B tier. She boasts to have 5 movement ability. This allows her to have greater reach in the battlefield, which can give you strategical advantage on character placement. Her mobility can be further enhanced with proper equipment. She can inflict abnormal conditions on enemies and boost damage done to them as well. Next unit is gonna be Sia. I'll be placing her in B tier. She can recover very high amount of her MP at the start of battle. If Sarah is in the party, she can recover even more MP right away. This allows her to use high MP cost skills right away. She is a good healer as well, who can heal HP of allies and increases their resistance to abnormal conditions. But her range of healing effect is very narrow and she has very low attack stats. Thus, her healing is pretty weak. As a buffer, she can passively provide a good attack power boost to her allies on her front. The next unit is Sarah. I will be placing her in B tier. She can deal wide range attack but has low damage output. Due to low MP cost, you can keep using her active skill frequently. Even though she has 300% damage modifier on her skill, her low attack stats is a great problem for her. The next unit is Raica, and I will be placing her in B tier. She can greatly reduce the counter attack rate of enemies. She can also provide minor attack power boost to allies at limited range. Her limited range of skill effect is of great disadvantage to her. She can nullify the physical defense of the opponent, which is great, but due to her low attack power, she can't take full advantage of it. She is meant to be paired by another good attacker like Tosh or Elk. Next unit is gonna be Logreed, and I will be placing him in B tier. As a buffer, he can provide good attack power boost to allies, but it requires him to be placed in good position to be effective. His very low attack power allows him to deal low damage to enemies. Next unit is gonna be Guell. As a debuffer, he can seal the attack of target and reduce the movement of enemies. With more women in party, his attack power improves proportionally. Plus, he can passively reduce the counterattack rate of enemies. As he has very low attack stats, you can't expect him to deal satisfying damage. Next unit is gonna be Julius. I will be placing her in B tier. As a debuffer, she can greatly reduce the physical and magical defense of enemies on her front over a wide range. This can allow your team to deal more damage to the enemies. She can seal the counter and movement of an enemy. Due to her low attack stats, she can deal much damage. Next unit is gonna be Iga. I will be placing him in B tier. As a healer, he provides good auto cure to the allies on his front over good range. His unique Amidar Feast effect is a damage over time effect that can deal higher damage to the enemies with higher HP for several turns. Thus, he can be a great help for boss fights. Due to his low attack power stats, you can't expect high damage output. Next unit is gonna be Huanglong. I will be placing her in B tier. She is an attacker character who specializes on single target attacks. She has the ability to ignore half of the defense of the opponent and can even deal extra heavy damage on an enemy when attacking from behind. She can be very helpful for tactical arena fights or boss fights. Next unit is Guell. I will be placing him in B tier. He is a very unique attacker character that can fight well while suppressing received damage. Thanks to his painkiller skill, he can limit the damage taken by self to 30% of max HP. Plus, he keeps getting more fierce at low HP condition. He can deal more damage with Avenge and improve his crit rate by up to 50% on low HP condition. This ability can allow him to be a good unit for arena and boss fights. Next unit is Ego. He is a tank character that can boost the overall defense of allies over narrow range. He can inflict seal and movement reduction on the enemy. This restriction in movement of enemy can give you tactical advantage in the battle. Next unit is Diec Beck. I will be placing this character in B tier. Even as a tank unit, he can deal heavy damage on opponents with massive modifier of 650% of attack power. Plus, he can nullify overall defense of the opponents as well. But after the skill uses, he becomes incapable of fighting. If Rhea is in the party, he can become more tanky with extra physical defense boost. He even boosts attack power of nearby allies and also reduces movement ability of nearby enemies. He is good for ruins of the ancient kings. Next unit is gonna be Conrad, and I will be placing this character in B tier. As a debuffer, he can reduce the overall defense of opponents over wide range area. This allows the allies to deal more damage to the opponents. Thanks to this ability of lifesteal and self-MP recovery, he has good sustenance of both HP and MP in the battlefield. Due to low attack stats, he can deal good damage to the enemies. And this is the overall tier list as of May 2021 for Arc the Lad R. What are your views on this tier list? If you agree with this tier list, then please do hit that like and subscribe button right away. If you have disagreement or other opinions, then please do let me know in the comment section below so that we can trigger a proper discussion on those matters. And this is it for today, guys. See you guys in the next video.